Hey guys, it's postboxpat. Welcome back to a brand new video discussing the idea of Fortnite Season 8 trailer concept and also showing you guys some confirmed features which will be coming into Fortnite Battle Royale Season 8 and beyond. So these features have just been recently announced on Reddit through a Q&A, and I'm really excited to give you guys these. There are some awesome features that are going to be coming in Season 8 and beyond. So if you haven't already, make sure you go and re-enter my code postboxpat into your item shop and then send me a tweet to @postboxpat or message me in my Discord for a shout out. The code should be resetting for a majority of people, so make sure you do go and re-enter that. It'd be awesome if you guys could go and do that, then just tweet me and just let me know that you've re-entered it. I'll give you guys a heart or even reply to a few of you, and it'd be really awesome. Anyway, let's move on to some of these Q&A questions. The first one we have is describe Season 8 in 4 words, and what people have described it as, or from Epic Games, is bananas, 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 bananas. Interesting, because when I look at this, it kind of triggers the idea of a consumable or maybe a tropical type paradise environment where you have kind of like a moisty mired jungle type theme with bananas hanging off the trees. Something that I want to ask in the comment section is everybody comment down below your dream consumable. So do you want increased movement speed? Maybe a banana could do that. Do you want to be able to see people through maybe walls that they've placed but not environmental things? So when I say that, so I mean stuff like mountains and stuff, so you won't be able to see them through environment structures or anything like that, only through stuff that they've actually placed. Or do you want something that gives you like no fall damage at all? You get what I mean? There's a few different things there that I've come up with, but yeah, they're just some of the ones I've come up with in the past. Again, you comment one down below and I'll be sure to heart and reply to a few of you guys because it's something I've always been interested in. The next thing I've got for you guys, which is a recent post from Fortnite themselves. This was actually tweeted out, I believe, as well, which actually shows all of the upcoming sound effects into Fortnite Battle Royale Season 8 and beyond. So some of these are absolutely awesome. This is going to basically mean that when we get Season 8 and we try out Season 8 for ourselves, the entire sound around Season 8 is going to be completely different. So the effects, like the environmental sounds. So this will go all the way from your tiny little gun effects to maybe something in the environment like breaking a tree or something, and the frequency of each like audio wave, should I say, will probably be changed a little bit. I know when I play Fortnite on headphones, it does sound a little bit rough. So obviously they're going to clean and polish some of that up, and that's basically what this is doing, and also adding a bunch of different stuff. There's some really cool stuff on there with adding reverb as well, which is basically like an echo. You know, when you're in like a cave or a big like hall, for example if you're in like a cathedral and you shout and you hear that kind of like echo, that's what reverb is. And if they're adding that, that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm excited to see how that's going to really impact the game a lot within some of the audio things, especially being someone who's quite experienced with audio in the past. Also, the next one I've got for you guys is probably the most interesting one in my opinion. So on this post here, they actually are discussing the idea of the Driftboard staying, but Epic actually go and reply saying they're working on a new vehicle which only one person can drive, but they don't want to say what it is, and they also talk about how they'll play together. Something interesting when I read that. When it's a one-man vehicle, it really does trigger a few different ideas. Yesterday, I actually mentioned the idea of a tank. Credit to PlayStation Grenade, he was one of the first people to actually mention the idea of the tank, and you know, the idea of it is absolutely insane. I'll put a little screenshot of the tank on screen right now from Save the World. This could be a one-man vehicle and would work absolutely perfect. I think a lot of people would absolutely love this, and you know, when driving this tank, if it's a one-man tank, I'd personally have it so you shoot the tank bullet, it goes very, very slow, the movement speed, and also the reload speed is very slow. It doesn't one-shot, so say it does about maybe 90 damage, it destroys structures instantly, but it's a very slow moving vehicle and a very slow fire rate, and it's only got the one shot, and maybe it takes say 4 or 5 seconds to reload, but it may have 2000 health. There may only be a few of them on the map, and I think something like that would be interesting for an LTM and would fit in as a one-man vehicle. When they say it working together with the Driftboard, I think the Driftboard would work with the tank because you'd be able to move around the tank, and because the top turret on the tank would turn very slowly, you wouldn't actually be able to take out the people on the Driftboard. Hence, it would work well with the tank. Another idea I come up with as well, if Season 8 was to be water themed, which I mentioned in several videos in the past, I also mentioned it in yesterday's video as well if you want to check that one out. You know, if it was to be water themed, we would have the idea of maybe boats or maybe a canoe, and that would work well with the Driftboard, or maybe something that kind of like hovers on water, or even a jet ski type thing, or even a snowmobile. We'll have to see exactly what we're going to get, but you know, that's what I have so far, predicting that new single rider vehicle. Again, leave your comments down below on what you think that potentially could be. We've also got a few other things here. These are some of the more funny ones in my opinion. We've got, will the building in Tilted Towers ever be safe? And this Epic producer actually replied saying, is anything ever really safe? Question mark. I really did like that one, because you know, at the end of the day, the whole map could just get destroyed for Season 8 and we could have a brand new map, which would be just insane, and we'd be like sad that we lose the classic Fortnite map, but it could come back in the future. It could just be for one season. I think that would be something interesting. Again, probably not going to happen, but we can definitely expect some sort of new map hopefully in the future. Another thing I've got for you guys as well is the double shotgun ever going to be brought back? And they actually say no, the double pump, or double whatever you want to call it, because there's been a lot of double different shotgun mechanisms throughout Fortnite Battle Royale. So they go and say how the shotguns themselves, when they were doubled or dual wielded, you know, when you could switch between them really fast, they go and say basically it was a huge damage output because there wasn't much like slow rate of fire between them, because you could just instantly change, and that's why they removed it. And it makes sense, you know, I'm happy that they removed it. I know a lot of people aren't, but it was very overpowered when double pump was a thing, so I'm glad that it got removed, but they may reintroduce it. It's just because shotguns have high damage at close range, introducing that just makes them way too overpowered. But maybe for an LCM, for a classic LCM, they might bring it back. We also have another great question here with someone asking, are they going to bring back old point of interest, for example risky reels? An Epic reply with, nothing like this is ever off the table, which is really awesome, because potentially Prison, Risky, Moisty Mire, all these classic locations, and even Anarchy Acres, one of my favourite locations of them all. You know, Fatal Fields is up there, but Anarchy would be great to see it return, could return to Fortnite Battle Royale, because they don't say anything's off the table. So, you know, anything could really happen. You just don't know. Another one is the Zapatron returning to Battle Royale in the near future, and they replied with the what? Question mark. So they're like acting as if they didn't know it. Obviously, the Zapatron was only in for like a very, very short period of time. I think it may have only been a day or two before it got instantly removed, just because of the type of ammo that was around the map. It was very hard to get your hands on, so it's kind of pointless having it in. But, you know, in the future, I don't think we'll see the Zapatron. Maybe if Fortnite takes a different route down to a futuristic route from Save the World, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, potentially we could be getting some Save the World element type weapons. I've talked about in the past how elements could be a big theme to Fortnite Battle Royale. We see the different elements in the Save the World style of stuff. We may get something like that into Fortnite Battle Royale. For example, you may get ice weapons on the Ice King side, or fire weapons on the Fire King side. You may have an option to pick what type of weapons you want at the start of the season, or maybe in a certain LTM you could pick your side, and that's what type of weapon you have. So basically you do more damage against people who are the ice version, and if you're fighting against maybe a fire version, you do more damage if you're the ice person. Kind of like a 50-50 win. Or you could even add a third element in and make it like a rock, paper, scissors type thing, like it is in Save the World, which would be really cool. We've also got a few different questions as well on what was the hardest location to be replaced or get rid of. So to be honest, they talk about Dusty Depot, since this was the first time we had to make the decision to make the plunge and change something at a large scale. Generally, everything we change has a bittersweet aspect to it for somebody, which makes perfect sense. You know, every single location has a sweet moment for someone out there, and it's very, well, to be honest, it probably is extremely difficult for someone at Epic Games to suddenly go, we're going to delete this one today. Interestingly enough, I find that quite, like, really difficult to do. If I worked at Epic, I'd be like, hold on, I don't know which location to delete. There's so many good memories here, so many good memories there. You can obviously add locations, but removing an entire section, for example, when Greasy Grove went, I was pretty annoyed and pretty disappointed seeing it go, but only for the location. I wasn't annoyed with Fortnite or anything, because I really enjoyed the new design they had with Polar Peak and stuff like that. But it was a rip for Greasy Grove, and it was sad to see it go. Obviously, Durburger still has lived on in Retail Row, thankfully, and so has Tomato Head, so we're lucky with that one, and hopefully we will see more of them in the future. Next one we've got as well for you guys is an interesting one. Someone said, can you add a button to the item shop to confirm purchases to prevent accidental purchases? They say they're working on it, but at the moment they do have the refund token in place for that. So kind of a little bit disappointing that that's not going to be coming straight out. Obviously the refund system is meant for accidental purchases. It's not meant for actual refunds technically. The idea of it originally was for accidental purchases, but obviously people have used it to get extra V-Bucks to buy maybe a skin that they enjoyed more. Then you get to a point where you don't have any more V-Bucks or something, so I guess that's how people were using it, and you run out of refunds and then you're kind of in a little bit difficult of a situation, but you know, you can deal with that. I guess most people have to with them accidental purchases. I've done it myself a few times, but I haven't used any of my refunds because I like all the skins I purchase, and even if I do it accidentally, I just go, oh well, it's for a reason, I'll just take it. The next one I've got for you guys is regarding the Battle Pass for Season 8 and your overtime challenges. Basically, if you complete the overtime challenges and you want to purchase the upgraded version of the Season 8 Battle Pass, you can, and it will be at a discount price. That's it for that one. Pretty interesting. And then the next one I've got for you guys is, could you add an option for all consoles, including Nintendo Switch, to lower the graphics settings and remove things like motion blur and shadows? And we are adding an option to disable motion blur off by default in Season 8. So you're going to be able to turn motion blur off in Season 8, which is going to be really awesome. And then they go to talk about how they're like changing up skins, lighting, shadows, all that sort of stuff to make it a lot easier for every single console. They didn't confirm that it's going to be an option for consoles to actually turn off shadows, which is a little bit disappointing because they did go and mention how they said basically disabling shadows gives an advantage to a bunch of players. Only a little bit, but nothing major. I guess on PC it will give you a major advantage if you're playing against other PC players, but other console players can't turn shadows off, so it's alright for us. If you're playing cross-platform, then I guess you have a little bit of an advantage. But they did say how they're going to tweak it all and stuff to make it more balanced for people who do have shadows on, and how they're going to like brighten skins up and brighten certain shadows up in certain areas, which would be interesting to see because again, it could change the entire style of radio, the way that Fortnite looks, especially for a console player like me who runs on the Xbox One X. I guess seeing the shadows completely change would be game changing. I noticed when I purchased the Xbox One, the shadows themselves tilted, especially inside some of the darker buildings, were extremely high and it was harder to actually see players. Whereas when I was playing on my original Xbox One, which wasn't the Xbox One X with the better graphics, I noticed that the shadows inside of the tilted towers buildings weren't really there. So interesting to see that, and you know, I don't have an option to go back to turn them shadows off, so playing on my Xbox One X would actually give me a disadvantage compared to playing on my Xbox One. You get where I'm coming from, hopefully. But yeah. Just before we go on to the Season 8 concept trailer, I'd just like to show you guys the final point, which I actually mentioned in yesterday's video, but I thought I'd put it in today's video as well. It is the idea of obviously the planes being vaulted in the Season 8 Battle Pass. That is 100% confirmed, so it's a shame. We may see them return for LTMs and stuff, but that's it. I'm going to leave you guys here. Huge shout out to my friend Sadar for making this concept trailer. I'm great friends with him. We always message on Discord and Twitter. He produces some of the best Fortnite concepts out there. Go and check out his channel. It is linked in the description and the comment section down below. Great YouTuber. Make sure you tell him that Pat sent you on his recent concept video. It's absolutely awesome. But yeah, enjoy the trailer, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll talk about the trailer afterwards.
It would seem the world is under the reign of the Ice Queen. However, looks can be deceptive. The world is not always as it seems. When the ice thaws, a new world shall be revealed.
Huge shout out for Sadar for making that one. I absolutely love his concepts, and that is a really cool idea. My opinion on that is agreed, not 100%, because I don't know if we're going to get an aqua type theme for season 8. It may be a future season. However, that trailer is very well made, and some of the stuff in it, like the dragons and also the mountain, I do have a little kind of theory that that may be a season 8 event and stuff like that. Again, you can take your own opinions from that trailer. It's only a concept trailer for season 8, but it's well made, and he actually spent so many months working on that. I know he said it at the end of the trailer, but he also like messaged me throughout the entire time of making it, showing me pictures of what's going on, dragons, and also the actual like aqua type king person. He also sent me pictures of that, and I was just so amazed by it, and so I really wanted to show you guys. Obviously I didn't want to show you it until it was finished, but it's great. Like, it's absolutely amazing. So let me know down in the comment section what you think of that. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, comment down below Aqua King, which will be interesting to see who's made it right to the end. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Be awesome if you guys could stick around for daily Fortnite content, especially with season 8 coming up very soon in a few days. I'll keep you guys up to date with everything regarding season 8. And if you haven't already, make sure you do go and re-enter code postboxpat in your Fortnite item shop. Thank you everybody for supporting me recently. You guys are absolutely awesome. Hope you guys have enjoyed today. Have a lovely day, and once again, this is postboxpat signing out.